3 faction war. This is Argent Shelf Redux and Space Marines versus Tyranids. Game 2, first up for the Tyranids, no changes here. We have Ace of Swords as a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt with some awesome offense and a touch of support as well. Alongside is Floid, big stumpy Hive Tyrant, very durable commander, walks through cover and cannot be suppressed, awesome offense with some disruption and support as well. Rounding off the blue Tyranid team is Caeltos, lead designer of Elite Mod, plays a Ravener Alpha tunneling commander with great mobility, so can also put out some decent damage, starts off in ranged combat. And for the Space Marines, the same 3 players this time, all playing a Techmarine. We have Final Push, Adila and Toilailee, and we have 2 Blood Ravens up, so that's not going to be confusing at all. They're both mid as well, so I'm going to get them confused a lot. So who wants to bet we're going to see turrets and beacons, which is a little bit risky, I think. You may associate turrets and beacons with boring campy play, but it is often very, very risky if you're overrun. As expected, Lictor Alpha against Techmarine on this solo lane is not a very good first engagement for the Techmarine, and he's pretty easily forced off here. The Lictor Alpha is such a pain in the ass. I mean, he's a stealthy assassin creature, but he can also lead the line surprisingly well, which is where his power comes from, I think. That kind of duality of going stealth when he needs to like this, but also just leading his forces into combat when he needs to as well. With some really powerful melee weapons and some support and stuff, he's a pain in the ass. Techmarine behind cover here, this is Adila. Toilailee moving up already, going for Bionics. It's a 2-to-1 cap early on for the Tyranids. Biding their time. Floid again going for his double Hormagaunts, double Termagants build. I wonder if we'll see the Venom Cannon again on this map. He's already got the Bioplasma up. An accessory which is a bit hit and miss. Can be quite difficult to hit right, but when you do hit it right, it is superb. He's going to try and hit it here, but can't quite do it. The animation is very long. He's going to be forced off here. Does he get it off? He does get it off, but he doesn't hit quite right there. And he's going to go down in retreat, I think. No, 9 hit points, he does get away. But no, the Techmarine finishes him off. Wow. That's that bolter for you. Down goes the Hive Tyrant, but should be able to be revived there by Caeltos' Ravener Alpha. They've stolen this power, the Tyranids. Very sneaky Caeltos. 2-to-1 cap. Final push. Making headway again on the west side. There's a Warrior Brood. Scouts do not want to tangle with them without shotguns, especially, and they just instantly retreat there. They would have been leapt on and knocked over is why I did that. Lictor Alpha coming over. Did he just revive, or did Caeltos just revive? I think it was Ace that revived. Yeah, it's loads of XP as you see there. Garrison taken by, I think, Final Push, and a good choice to do so. Needs to get out now though. Warriors working on his power node. Needs to defend it. Tyranids pushing through the mid. Lictor Alpha decapping, and here come a whole bunch of Marines and 2 Techmarine scouts on capping duty. No sign of shotguns there for Toilailee, and no sign of shotguns for Adila, who's now helping out on the west side of double tactical Marines of his own. So when he goes back mid, they're going to have like a full company of Blood Ravens basically over there. 4 tactical Marine squads, Tech Marines, and a bunch of scouts. It's going to be awesome. Final push with Assault Marines on the way. Wants to get on top of this Barb Strangler Warrior Brood quickly with those Assault Marines and try and withstand the counter initiation wrath of the Lictor Alpha. We might see Feed the Tendrils in response from Ace over there. 500, 372, double tactical Marines get behind. Heavy cover here. They will easily be able to outshoot those double Termagants who are forced to back away. Here come Hormagaunts. And as you see here, Floyd getting his adrenal glands up before he gets toxin stats, man. I mean, Hormagaunts with adrenal glands are no pushover in tier 1. They really can catch you unawares with the sheer amount of attack and DPS they can put out. Catching those tactical Marines there and back the hell away when they see a bunch more stuff here. Bleeding models like crazy though, look at this. Whoa, he might lose that entire squad. In fact, I think he is going to. Yes, down they go, surely. Yes, they do. Floyd just losing sight of his double Hormagaunts. Seem to back away and then just leave them lingering. Can he get a good bioplasma on this blob of Marines here? He's going for it. Not quite hits terrain there. I have seen Floid. He's been using the bioplasma a lot recently, and I've seen him hit it very, very well a few times. Improved synapse is also up. And that does, yeah, it says nearby friendly Tyranids, so it does affect your allied Tyranids as well. So quite a powerful upgrade there, boosting up all Hormagaunts and Termagants and of course Raveners in tier 1. Hive node put up by Caeltos gives off this cloud of Tyranid stuff that protects and slows down enemies, protects allies of course and slows down enemies. It affects both ingoing and outgoing range damage, so you don't do quite as much damage, or nowhere near as much damage, if you're standing in it and shooting outwards, but it protects you a lot. And if you have melee units, you can really defend it incredibly well. 500, 330 is very strong versus Space Marines in fact, because Tactical Marines don't really want to get close to try and melee the thing. And since the Flamer is short range, they will be affected by the outgoing damage debuff when they try and get close to it with a Flamer if the cloud is up. That's set to be fixed or changed or rebalanced, whatever kind of word you want to use in the next update. The cloud will get a shorter range so you can waltz up to it with the Flamer and do your stuff. Final push is retaken the west side while I was babbling about the Hive node. Warrior Brood with Barb Strangler for Ace, and he is getting feeder tendrils up quite late, going tier 2 before he gets his feeder tendrils up. I thought we'd see them as soon as Ace saw these Assault Marines. There's the jump. Does he have what it takes to hold? This is Adila's Marines and he's not pushing them forward. Now he is. Warrior Brood do retain some usefulness in melee combat when they have their Barb Strangler. They actually still leap, I believe. They still retain the leap, but they lose their power melee. I'm pretty sure anyway, but they hold on to some decent DPS. There's the Barb Strangler on the Marines, allowing the Hormagaunts to get in amongst, down to just 3 models. But doing well there. Good push by Ace against 1 and a bit players there, because Adila had his Marines. This Hive node continuing to be a massive pain in the ass for Red Team to deal with. Look at all these Blood Ravens Marines. Triple tax from Toilailee. We've seen him use this a few times now, but usually with the Apothecary, and he uses advanced healing alongside them, so not sure what he's going to do with the Techmarine. Maybe get the Power Axe, he has Bionics, get the Axe of the Mechanicum I should say, and use it to protect his Marines from melee stuff, which I assume we're going to see a bunch of in the mid here, because Floid loves to use his Gene Stealers. Turret is up, this is Toilailee's, and we have a beacon up as well. That's really powerful on this map because you can retreat back to it and not have to retreat back all the way to your base, which is a big time sink. And now these guys are going to take down this tower and get a bunch of XP for it. It's going to be shared, but yeah, a fair amount of XP there. All low on hit points but didn't lose a model, and now they're retreating back to the beacon as you see. Meanwhile, Ace pushing hard on the west side. There's a synapse explosion. Might have been the sniper rifle of these scouts getting that shot, but the Assault Marine is going to get away. Very, very nearly go down. Nice grenade from Adila. He's so good with these grenades, but well dodged also by Ace. Lictor Alpha chasing down Marines with that terrifying feeder tendrils weapon. Self-heal on hit as you see there, and it scales as he levels towards his 2% of his health, and he gets away. Also has pheromone. Pretty decent place here for the turret, I think. Oh, look at this though, Tyrant Guard on the field for Caeltos, and this is one of the reasons I usually wouldn't get setup teams in a faction war situation against Tyranids. It sounds like an obvious choice would be to get Devastators or Havocs or something to try and stem the tide, but usually there's just too much stuff to try and control, and you're very quickly hit by Tyrant Guards and Zone Throats quickly in tier 2, which really screws with your setup team play. As you can see here, Tyrant Guard is out, and there's not a lot around to counter it. No plasma guns up yet. Oh, we do have a plasma gun on Toilailee's Techmarine, I should say. But that'll do a hell of a lot of damage to the Tyrant God because it's super heavy infantry armor, not a vehicle, which is the big downside of the Tyrant God, because there's a lot of power and plasma weapons around in tier 2. So isolated, it can go down very quickly. But that's the same with any walker, I suppose. An isolated walker is usually a death sentence unless your opponent really isn't prepared, and again the bioplasma completely fails to do anything. And he has gone for his ranged build here, Floid, Venom Cannon, improved synapse, and that very hit and miss bioplasma. I'm not seeing it paid off in this game, but as I said, I have seen it do wondrous things for Floid recently. Got some very good hits with it. 428, 262, zone throat up here for Ace. Pushing against 2 turrets, 1 turret goes down, the other turret goes down. That was a terrible, terrible engagement for final push, because they were both his turrets, I think. And Adila is the one that puts up another. Final push with Devastators though, and a plasma cannon. It's risky, it's risky. Can get some amazing hits, but you can also get some amazing friendly fire on your assault marines, or it could just completely miss and get run down. But we'll see how it goes. Zone throat mid from Floid. Usually has these very, very balanced Tyranid armies with lots of melee, lots of ranged. Often makes it a lot more difficult to counter because you've got so many different disparate parts to deal with. Capillary Tower shoots at the ground. Nice play here from Final Push, bringing those Devastators in to a really tight area and locking down a lot of Floyd stuff, and he's forced to retreat his warriors and back away his Termagants and Hormagaunts. They are reinforcing though off this brood nest. Do they have an Endless Swarm? No, they don't. In fact, oh, we have Ace with Endless Swarm on his Termagants and Hormagaunts. Takes them up to 10 models. That's set to get toned down slightly in an upcoming update. It's going to cost, or rather it's going to take a lot more time for that upgrade to complete. At the moment it's just 15 seconds and it's going to go up to 40. Caeltos also with the Endless Swarm on his stuff there, and he's pushing power quite well. He's put a lot of pressure on this east side, which is not something you often see on this map. Usually these central players kind of get bogged down in a big attrition fight right in the middle here. But Caeltos using his mobility well and pushing his power over and over again, and that Tyrant Guard is a massive pain in the ass. There's a lot of stuff here, including sniper rifles, which do a half decent job versus the Tyrant Guard, since they do full damage to all infantry types, I believe. 345, 262. Tyrant Guard can of course go into shield wall and kind of laugh at sniper rifles. These guys all retreating back to the beacon, and this is going to be a massive engagement. Spore mines, I think that is being dropped in by Ace. It is, and there's that big suppression explosion and zone throat shot coming in. We'll see how the Space Marines deal with this very, very risky situation and not getting out of there. Spore mines continuing to go off, and the Marines can't shoot at them because they are suppressed. Ouch! And bioplasma going in. That is crazy. That is painful. Tyrant Guard in there as well, and those two players having to deactivate the relay beacon and retreat out. Wow. You see that so often. Getting blobbed up around the beacon and they just get torn apart by something. Here's a Dreadnought. This is Toilailee's. I did lost a lot there. Mark target on those Termagants. Floyd doing well with this ranged Hive Tyrant, I think. Look at the damage he's doing to that Dreadnought, being chased down by a Tyrant Guard, and the Tyrant Guard puts up a very, very good fight 1v1 versus virtually every tier 2 walker, including the Space Marine one. 303, 262. Has a cannon covering that side. There's 2 turrets here, both from Adila, covering the western approach and this eastern approach, or the northern approach I should say, and this eastern approach. assault cannon dreadnought for Toilailee. Look at how much health this thing lost. 296, 262. VP is very even. That's a massive push by the Tyranids though. Are the Space Marines going to be able to recover from that? They have so much red now because of all the losses and all the kills, of course. Carnifex is already on the way. It's going to be very difficult now. Hard, very difficult to drop to deal and stop multiple Carnifexes when they're supported by big Tyranid armies, because if you get las cannons rolling, they can easily be swarmed, and if they are thornbacks, you can't really stop them with missile launchers and stuff. You need that snare, which Space Marines do have in the form of a melter bomb. I'm pretty sure the Techmarine's orbs do not work on a Carnifex, but not entirely sure. Down goes one turret. Turret guard now goes shield wall and laughs at everything. 279, 262. Tyranid warriors are going to get focused down by the turret there. That's good play. In comes the bioplasm, but that Hive Tyrant is going down. Zone throw shots also coming in. 271, 262, 2-1 cap. 40 Space Marines. Somehow they've taken back a 2-1 VP advantage, but final push and Adila very, very low. And Toilailee is look at it, look at his pop. He's up to 89 already with what he has. 265, 262. Here comes a Carnifex, a Thornback, which just popped out a bunch of Rippers, and he's going to charge, is he? Wants to get around the VP before he tries to charge. That was the orbs. An attempt by Toilailee, so maybe it does work against Carnifexes, or I assume he wouldn't have used it, or maybe he doesn't know either. 265, 262. Someone can clear that up for me in the comments if it does work on Carnifexes. It doesn't work on Tyrant guards, though. It will drain their energy, which is incredibly useful. This Carnifex might go down. Plasma Cannon got a big shot. We have Missile Launcher, Tactical Marines here. Bang, almost goes down. There's an orbital. Catches those Termagants. Just going to catch these warriors if they run into it, and they do, and that's a really good orbital there. Space Marines are really holding this west side pretty strong. Boom. Such an awesome nuke now, the orbital in Elite mod. Wow, that whacked that squad pretty hard. 265, 262. What's going on mid? Not a whole lot from the looks of it. Caeltos is chilling out. Has a Hive node still there defending this approach, and he might push forward and just decap over there. What is this? It's a Carnifex. He just bashed power again. Venom Cannon Carnifex, really powerful large target weapon. Can also do decent splash damage to infantry if it's lucky. Doesn't have the greatest accuracy versus infantry, but the splash damage sometimes makes up for it, and you can get some really nice hits. 260, 262. Carnifex for Floid without any kind of upgrade, and look at this from Space Marines holding the lines here with two very depleted armies in terms of final push and Adila, but Toilailee has a whole bunch of stuff. Tripled Marines, Dreadnought, and double Plasma Cannon Devastators. 257, 262. They really are holding incredibly well here. Such a narrow approach for two armies to fight over. Another turret going up. Is this going to be a missile turret to try and help versus the Carnifexes perhaps? It is pretty good, the missile turret. Can also disrupt infantry, I believe. Yeah, whoa, look at the damage that Barb Strangler shot did. Wow. It's like a mobile plasma cannon that suppresses basically this thing. Insane. Can also spit out spore mines. Caeltos. Wow. Absolutely running things in the mid. Toilailee retreating through, lots of death, and now Caeltos with a massive flank. But they're wise to it. Toilailee's turning some stuff here. Oh, was that Adila with a retreat? Drop pod in base, reinforcing all of Toilailee's stuff. Toilailee's all over the map here. He's got some stuff on the west side. He's got his Dreadnought and his commander over here, and his Marines back at base. Caeltos recognizes the threat and backs away without support. Doesn't know what else is here. Final push has retained his assault squad, and Predator tank on the way for final push. Doom and Malantar's on the field though from Ace of Swords, and that's gonna chomp through all of those Marines pretty handily, especially with a Carnifex charging in and knocking it all over and stuff. 257, 215. Lull in the action here. It's just the same, it is the same Tyrant Guard. He's done really well with this thing, Caeltos. Level 2 now. Under Synapse and under the Capillary Tower. Such a powerful creature when in Synapse support range, and a massive liability when not. 257, 215, still that 1-to-1. Nobody can take the west side, but a Warrior Brood is taking it now. And there's Paroxysm doing massive amounts of damage. I think it's 2% health per second lost, but that goes up because it's psychic damage, so it's increased versus heavy and super heavy infantry armor. Don't ask me why psychic damage does more versus heavily armored troops. Did you see that hit from the Thornback? Took out 3 models, but that is the case for psychic damage. A bit of an odd one. 257, 196, massive, erupted at disengagement now. Double Carnifexes for Caeltos, a Thornback, a Venom Cannon, and still this Tyrant Guard charging around, taking names. Howser Cannon gets a shot, and then is mobbed by a bunch of Xenos, but does get away. Nice save there from Toilailee. 257, 180, now another power harass from Caeltos. How many generators has he destroyed? Is he overextending here though? Because there is Marines with some pretty nasty weapons for that Tyrant Guard. Tyrant Guard backs away and he leaves his Thornback to tie things up. Is that going to be able to get away? He might charge out here. 257, 162. Yep, there's the charge out. Usually used offensively, but you can use it like that to cover huge amounts of ground and get away. A snare from the zone throat on the Dreadnought. 257, 146, double cap for the Tyranids, and look at their rosters. They are dominating the map again at the end of the game. Space Marine's done a fantastic job to hold on with the tiny armies that Adila and Final Push have had. Toilailee doing a good job carrying here. 257, 120, double cap. Adila not purchasing anything. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Maybe he's figuring out whether he should go tier 3, and he does go tier 3. Final Push and him now tier 3. Final Push got a Predator tank, didn't he? Did it go down already? Did I completely miss it going down? I don't see the husk anywhere, but he must have got it and it must have gone down. Massive blow for him. Assault Marines in retreat. Don't see the remains of it, probably just got crushed. Oh, there was a Tyranid formation in base, and a Carnifex was in base and went down. As usual, I miss a bunch of stuff. 257, 86. Bioplasma misses again. I think he's hit about 2 out of 8 or something shots that he's taken with it. Carnifex is in trouble here. Dreadnought forcing melee combat with those 73 DPS heavy melee claw that it has with its ranged weapon attached. Was that friendly fire from the missile launcher on the Dreadnought there? I think it was. The Carnifex gets away somehow. This thing gets its Venom Cannon working on that Dreadnought. Bioplasma shots. Venerable Dreadnought dropped from Final Push. Awesome. Down goes that Carnifex. It was Adila with the last shot from his melter gun. And huge amounts of damage on his Hive turret now. Here comes that Venerable. I think this thing does around 116 DPS heavy melee. I think it is. I know it's slightly higher than the standard Space Marine Dreadnought's 100 DPS. 257, 54. Swarmlord on the way for Floid. That's not what we want to see as a Space Marine. Caeltos done such a good job controlling the centre and patrolling this east side, putting pressure on that power. Now he's capping with his Reverend Alpha. Acid Splatter regenerates and strengthens Sinew. That awesome speed buff, as you see there, plus 1.5 speed. Another Venerable drop, this time by Adila. And they're hanging in here somehow. 256, 49. Tyranids are retaking the west side though, so they're going to get a triple here, and this might be it. This might be 2-0 for the Tyranids, I should say. Carnifex still level 1 for Caeltos. In fact, they both are. His Tyrant God is almost level 4 with 3,025 hit points, I should say, at level 3. That is awesome. What does it get at level 4? 2566. There's a triple cap, and there is the victory for the Tyranids. A valiant effort from the Space Marines again, but again, just lost units at vital times and couldn't really recover. It was that push against the relay beacon that really screwed them over in the middle here. That's where relay beacons can just bite you in the arse when stuff like that happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in Game 3.